What up, what up, what up? It's Julian the Voice here with another Daytok here on Trust the Plus, where the word and life come together to make sense. And I think I jinxed myself. We got a little bit more of a longer verse than yesterday. But this is an important verse, right? They're all important verses, but this one goes into the shepherd parable, right? The sheep parable. Matthew 18:12 is what we're going to be discussing. So it says, "What do you think if a man owns 100 sheep and one of them wanders away? Will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that wandered off?" Before I get into this, let me turn around and tell you something that's going to be contrary to what you've probably heard thousands and thousands and thousands of times. It is not in God's best interest for you to perish and go to hell. Yes, that's right, I said hell. It's okay, it's in the Bible. I'm not gonna burn up. Promise you, but we keep it real over here also, right? You're not going to hell. Right? That's not you're not going to hell because God's forcibly wanting you to turn around and go there. Right? This crazy thing where we're like, God is out to get us because we read too much of Old Testament without understanding. We just think God is just vengeful, senselessly. No, he's not. Right? God would much rather save all of his children. The truth of the matter is, there's a lot of us that's going to be stubborn and not want to be saved. We want to stay lost, right? We want to be in the wilderness, right? We're going to keep running away each time we hear the shepherd calling out to us, and we know the direction to go, but we still want to go the other direction because we want to keep wandering, right? And that's just the truth of the matter. God didn't do that. We did that, right? That's the whole free will clause inside there, right? So you got two things that you could do. You can either keep following your free will, or you can follow God's will, right? And there's some people who don't want to do that. The submission, they don't want to do. They don't find it worth it, right? And so it's very, very important in the parable of the sheep to understand that, right? And so what Jesus turns around and points here is that God, as the shepherd, cares about his sheep. Even if one is lost, God's going out of his way to grab him. And so this illustrates again how God is willing to leave the 99, which would stand for righteous people, right, to actively search for one, to bring back that one, right, who is lost, emphasizing the great love and desire to reach everyone, right? This is even told inside of Revelation. Heaven rejoices if one person gets saved. Imagine that. There's a whole party in heaven if just one person gets saved. And it could be the most vile, jacked up person who's been doing next to nothing for a good minute. At the very last minute was just like, you know what, God, I submit to you. And heaven is rejoicing because that person is coming back. Let that sink in. Right? Because we want to stay mad at people forever. We want to hold grudges. Right? We want to be like, oh, don't change up now. In that fact, sometimes we want to turn around and even shun people for trying to change their ways. Right? Like they're just supposed to stay no good forever. Right? Like, you made your choice. You made your bed. Lie down in it. That's all the stuff we like to say, right? God don't believe in none of that, right? There's apples and oranges to God, right? God strictly wants all of his children to choose a path of righteousness, to choose to come back home to the shepherd, right? So, oftentimes, this is a metaphor where a leader, right? Often religious figures, right? If we turn around and put it into, like, physical senses, right? Like here on this world, right? It's compared to a shepherd who cares for and guides their flock, right? Signifying responsibility to protect, nurture, and lead their followers, with implication that the sheep should trust and follow their shepherd's guidance. What does all that mean in a very small, much more contextual way, right? It should be in people who have followers, who have people who have influence and all this other stuff. It should be in your best interest to see those people succeed. Right? You have this crazy system where everybody wants all these different people and they just want to use and abuse them. And if they die, they die. If something happens to them, something happens to them. They just replace them. Like, it's the most crazy thing where leaders try to treat the sheep, right, as irreplaceable. And that's crazy, right? When you have the creator of the universe who has every right, then these people on the planet, right, to be like, bump all of y'all looking at us, as he said, it's not my words, the Bible's words, precious gems. This is the same person, the same guy who also realized we are stiff-necked people, and he still called us precious gems, right? Still says we're worth it. There's the same God who saw us and judges turn around and corrupt and fight each other and do all kinds of things, saw the church split and perverse his words, right? He's still chasing after us. Still trying to protect, still trying to help us save ourselves from ourselves, right? That's crazy. I don't know how that should motivate you right there. I shouldn't even have to continue in this verse, right? The creator of the universe gives you the love that physical people right now cannot give you. And the craziest part, you don't even have to. I'll keep going, man. The last part is the lost sheep, right? The lost sheep in the sense that we choose paths that we don't have to take, man. We get this GPS the Holy Spirit gives us, and the Holy Spirit shows us a destination, but because we don't like the streets that it has to pass through, the people that we have to see, the sights that we have to see, we're like, nah, I'm gonna take this shorter path, right, or this other path. And this other path that we take that seemingly seems short, right, or seem like a shortcut and everything like that ends up creating delays. Steers us, right? We start getting less and less to the destination to the point where we don't even know if we should be there anymore, if we're even gonna make it at all, right? And that's what we do. That's what sheep tend to do. Sheep get so distracted by everything grazing and always wanting what they want, right? All they want to do is eat, right? And take eat and replace that with whatever your carnal desire is, right? All they want to do is eat and feed off of whatever their carnal desire is, right? Their nature is prescribing them to do, right? When they have everything they need already at the pasture that they're at. But they just keep going, they keep walking. Next thing you know, they're lost. Right? And God literally stops, he leaves the righteous people where they at, and he goes to go and get that one who decided to go way off into the darkness. Crazy, right? Shepherds sought out the lost sheep. That's a willing line, right? God willfully seeks out people who are trapped in darkness. God willfully goes into the valley of the shadow of death, right? That's what it says, the staff comfort me, right? And again, going back into it again, you guys know what the prayer is, right? Literally goes over there. You can just say, yeah, you're gone, you're dead to me, right? God doesn't do that. And so this is a message of love to really take into, right? Is Jesus turning around and talking about how God turned around and operates his people, right? But don't just leave it at that context, because again, we're supposed to be a representation, an image on here, right? This is the love we should be showing to people. If somebody's lost, don't just watch them be lost. Help. You're equally as guilty for just letting that person succumb to their own demise, right? Without turning around and actually doing something, praying, intervening when the Spirit tells you to intervene. Intervene when the Spirit says intervene. Coming against them. There's a little skip and stuff like that. My phone kind of paused for a second. But coming in to turn around and really help them, right? Like, we got to think about these things, right? Because how is it the creator of the world cares this much? And we're physically here, right? We like to turn around and rely so much on the physical. And we can't do something physical that the creator of the universe, who has a lot of other better things to do, and takes the time to do daily, on a daily basis, all the time, even when you don't think that he is, right? And we can get into that part. But that's not for today. I don't want you to turn around and stay stuck on that. I want you to think about the love right now that God shows. When you were lost, he went back for you. And even if you're still lost, he's still calling out to you. He doesn't think you're a lost cause. He doesn't want you to disappear. He's still calling out to you. So answer it and go home. There's nothing for you in the wilderness. Been there. You ain't gonna find nothing. And what you could find, God gives it to you way better, in a less toxic and destructive way. But I'll stop there. That's all I got for you. Once again, this has been a Daytok on Trust the Plus. Remember, no mess, no fuss. Always trust the plus. And I'll catch you again. Peace out.